In recent years, reports of unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, have shifted from the realm of fringe speculation to serious national security concerns. Military pilots, radar operators, and even high-ranking government officials have come forward to describe encounters with objects that defy conventional explanation. These phenomena are not only witnessed visually, but are also captured on radar, infrared sensors, and other surveillance technologies, creating a growing body of evidence that demands investigation. The term unexplained is critical here. It does not presume an extraterrestrial origin, nor does it immediately imply a hoax. Instead, it reflects the reality that these objects exhibit flight characteristics and behaviors that are currently beyond known human technology and conventional aerospace engineering. One of the most notable shifts in the public discourse surrounding UAPs occurred with the release of Navy videos in 2017 and 2020. Which showed objects moving at incredible speeds, executing abrupt maneuvers, and demonstrating capabilities that appear to violate our understanding of physics. These videos, officially declassified and acknowledged by the Department of Defense, sparked renewed interest in the question of whether these phenomena could be extraterrestrial in origin or a product of highly advanced, secret human engineering. The acknowledgement of these videos by official channels also removed much of the stigma previously associated with reporting UAPs, encouraging more credible witnesses to come forward. The global nature of sightings adds further weight to their significance. From the coasts of the United States to military bases in Europe and Asia, these phenomena have been observed under controlled conditions by trained professionals. Radar logs and satellite tracking often corroborate visual accounts, showing that these objects are not optical illusions or misidentified conventional aircraft. In some instances, objects have been recorded hovering silently for extended periods, disappearing instantaneously, or appearing in multiple locations without any visible means of propulsion. Such behavior raises critical questions. What is the source of these objects? Who or what is controlling them? And, most importantly, why are they appearing near sensitive military and nuclear installations? Historical context also plays a role in understanding modern UAP reports. Though technology has advanced, sightings of anomalous aerial phenomena are not a new occurrence. Accounts dating back decades describe lights in the sky, sudden aerial movements, and objects that defy explanation. What has changed, however, is the ability to document these encounters with precise instrumentation and to cross-reference them with multiple independent sources. Modern sensors, infrared tracking, and high-definition video recordings provide an unprecedented level of detail that allows researchers to analyze speed, trajectory, and behavior with scientific rigor. The investigative lens applied to these sightings is equally critical. While popular culture often leans toward sensationalism, an evidence-driven approach seeks to separate credible reports from misidentifications and hoaxes. This chapter establishes the foundation for the report by highlighting verifiable incidents, analyzing patterns, and presenting testimonies from trained observers who have little incentive to fabricate encounters. By focusing on documented phenomena, the discussion maintains credibility while setting the stage for deeper exploration of potential origins and explanations in subsequent chapters. Finally, the significance of these unexplained events extends beyond the immediate spectacle. They touch on issues of national security, technological advancement, and the very nature of our understanding of the universe. If these objects represent human-made technology, they indicate the existence of capabilities previously thought impossible. If they represent extraterrestrial intelligence, the implications are profound, challenging assumptions about life beyond Earth and our place in the cosmos. This chapter, therefore, does more than introduce the phenomenon. It frames the central investigative question of this report. Are these UAPs evidence of alien visitation? Or do they reflect advanced human capabilities and potentially deliberate obfuscation by governmental or private entities? By establishing this investigative framework, the reader is prepared to follow the subsequent chapters, which will examine historical patterns, satellite anomalies like Atlas 3I and Oumuamua, military encounters, and potential government deception. The arrival of the unexplained sets the stage for a methodical and evidence-based exploration, grounding the report in fact while acknowledging the unresolved mysteries that continue to captivate both experts and the public alike. While the modern UFO and UAP phenomenon has captured global attention in recent years, reports of strange aerial objects and unexplained lights in the sky are far from new. Historical accounts, sometimes dismissed as folklore or misinterpretation, provide important context for understanding the continuity of these phenomena. From medieval chronicles describing celestial ships to early 20th century pilot and naval sightings, anomalous aerial activity has been consistently observed across cultures and eras. These historical shadows are critical. They suggest that the modern wave of UAP reports may not be a novel occurrence, but part of a pattern that spans centuries. One of the earliest well-documented accounts comes from the mid-15th century, when European chroniclers recorded sightings of fiery discs moving in formation across the sky. While interpretations of these events varied, contemporary reports indicate that they were observed by multiple independent witnesses and included unusual flight behavior that defied known explanations of the time. Similarly, reports during the late 19th and early 20th centuries describe metallic or luminous objects appearing near populated areas and moving in ways inconsistent with balloons, kites, or early aircraft. In these cases, eyewitness descriptions often emphasized sudden acceleration, abrupt stops, and instantaneous changes in direction, behavior that resonates with modern UAP encounters. The 20th century introduced both technological advancements and new forms of documentation. As aviation and radar technology developed, military personnel began recording sightings with increasing precision. World War II brought the term Foo Fighters, used by Allied pilots to describe mysterious glowing objects that followed aircraft over Europe and the Pacific. Post-war, the 1947 Kenneth Arnold sighting near Mount Rainier in Washington state marked a turning point. Arnold described 9 crescent-shaped objects moving at incredible speeds, coining the now famous phrase, flying saucer. His report, widely covered by the press, catalyzed public awareness and prompted early government investigations, including Project Sign and later Project Bluebeam, which systematically documented thousands of UAP sightings. Historical patterns also highlight the recurrent association of UAPs with military or nuclear sites. Declassified documents and anecdotal reports suggest that sightings were disproportionately concentrated near defense installations, missile silos, and nuclear research facilities, both in the United States and abroad. Some researchers argue that this pattern indicates a targeted observation of sensitive human activity, while skeptics maintain that increased vigilance and instrumentation in these locations simply result in more frequent detection. Either way, these historical correlations underscore a critical investigative point. UAP phenomena are not merely random or coincidental, and their recurring proximity to strategic assets warrants serious scrutiny. Global accounts further strengthen the investigative case. In the 1950s and 1960s, reports emerged from the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, and Japan describing unexplained objects displaying flight characteristics similar to those documented in the United States. Consistency in behavior, sudden acceleration, hovering, and unexplainable maneuvers across diverse geopolitical contexts suggests that these phenomena cannot be easily dismissed as culturally specific myths or misinterpretations of conventional technology. By tracing patterns across decades and continents, researchers can identify persistent features and anomalies that may point to either unknown natural phenomena or technologically advanced entities. Historical analysis also offers lessons in critical investigation. Many early reports were met with skepticism, ridicule, or outright dismissal, but modern scrutiny often validates at least the basic factual accounts, even if the underlying explanation remains elusive. Understanding the historical record allows investigators to differentiate between credible patterns and isolated anomalies, providing a structured framework to assess contemporary UAP reports. It also reminds us that the question of unexplained aerial phenomena is not a passing curiosity. It has challenged observers, scientists, and governments for generations. In conclusion, the historical shadows of UAP sightings reveal a persistent and perplexing presence in human observation. From medieval chronicles to mid-20th century military reports, the behaviors, locations, and repeated patterns of these objects lay the groundwork for the current investigative effort. By examining the past with a critical, evidence-based lens, researchers gain both perspective and context for the modern wave of sightings. This chapter prepares the reader for the technical and scientific analysis to follow, including satellite anomalies, military encounters, and high-profile government disclosures that define the modern UAP landscape. Modern investigations into unexplained phenomena extend beyond atmospheric sightings to the realm of space-based anomalies, where unusual objects challenge conventional astrophysics and raise questions about extraterrestrial activity. Two of the most compelling cases in recent years are the Atlas 3I satellite anomalies and the interstellar object Oumuamua. Both highlight the intersection of advanced technology, observational science, and the unexplained, forming a critical part of the evidence landscape in the study of UAPs and potential alien visitation. The Atlas 3I satellite, launched in the late 20th century, was designed for high-resolution observation of both terrestrial and near-Earth space environments. Over time, analysts observed anomalies in its telemetry and imagery, including unexplained energy readings and movements inconsistent with orbital mechanics. Some objects appeared to exhibit controlled acceleration or deceleration without any detectable propulsion systems, behavior that defies the principles of conventional aerospace engineering. These anomalies were carefully documented, cross-referenced with other satellite data, and reported to relevant space agencies, sparking debates about whether these incidents represented experimental human technology, sensor errors, or the influence of unknown phenomena. Simultaneously, the discovery of Oumuamua in October 2017 brought unprecedented attention to the possibility of interstellar visitors. This elongated, cigar-shaped object passed through the solar system on a hyperbolic trajectory, indicating it originated from outside our system. Its unusual acceleration, absence of a cometary tail, and high reflectivity triggered intense scientific debate. While many researchers argue for natural explanations, such as outgassing or a peculiar asteroid composition, others have noted characteristics more consistent with an artificial object or probe. Avi Loeb, an astrophysicist at Harvard University, for example, publicly suggested that Oumuamua could be a technological artifact from an advanced civilization, citing its trajectory and motion as anomalous and not fully explained by conventional astrophysical models. Both Atlas 3I and Oumuamua highlight the limits of current observational capabilities. With Atlas 3I, satellite anomalies are often subtle and require meticulous analysis to distinguish genuine phenomena from sensor errors or environmental interference. Oumuamua, observed for only a brief window as it passed rapidly through the inner solar system, underscores the difficulty of collecting comprehensive data on transient interstellar objects. In both cases, the challenge is not merely one of observation, but also interpretation, determining whether the anomalies represent natural, human-made, or extraterrestrial phenomena requires cross-disciplinary expertise and cautious analysis. The investigative implications of these anomalies are significant. If Atlas 3I's observations indicate objects with flight characteristics beyond known human capabilities, it suggests the possibility of either highly classified aerospace programs or the presence of non-human technology. Similarly, Oumuamua's trajectory and physical characteristics, while not definitively artificial, open the door to serious scientific consideration of interstellar probes or reconnaissance objects. Both cases exemplify the type of evidence that cannot be ignored in a rigorous investigation, particularly when combined with terrestrial UAP sightings and military encounters documented in previous chapters. Contextualizing these anomalies within broader patterns strengthens the investigative argument. Both Atlas IIII and Oumuamua intersect with key locations and events highlighted in modern UAP research. Satellites frequently detect unusual objects near strategic assets, while interstellar anomalies like Oumuamua remind us that Earth's vicinity is not isolated from cosmic phenomena. Investigators must therefore maintain a dual lens, one focused on immediate terrestrial events and another attentive to the broader interstellar context in which they occur. By doing so, patterns emerge that may indicate either advanced technological presence or phenomena yet to be fully understood by contemporary science. The scientific discourse surrounding these objects also illustrates the tension between skepticism and open inquiry. Many experts caution against leaping to conclusions about alien visitation, emphasizing naturalistic or technological explanations first. Yet, the persistent anomalies recorded by Atlas IIII and the inexplicable nature of Oumuamua demonstrate the importance of maintaining investigative flexibility. Dismissing unusual evidence outright risks overlooking potentially transformative discoveries, while uncritical acceptance can lead to sensationalism. The investigative approach, therefore, must balance rigorous analysis with openness to unconventional possibilities. In conclusion, Atlas IIII and Oumuamua represent pivotal cases in the study of unexplained phenomena. Both highlight the need for precise observation, critical analysis, and a willingness to confront anomalies that challenge conventional understanding. As this report moves forward, the lessons from these space-based anomalies will inform the examination of terrestrial sightings, military encounters, and governmental disclosures. They remind investigators that the pursuit of truth requires both breadth and depth, encompassing phenomena from the edges of Earth's atmosphere to the far reaches of interstellar space, and that each anomaly, however enigmatic, contributes to a clearer understanding of what or who might be operating in our skies. Military personnel have long been at the forefront of unidentified aerial phenomena research. Trained to observe, report, and respond to anomalies in the sky, they provide some of the most credible and detailed accounts of UAP encounters. Over the past several decades, a growing number of pilots, radar operators, and other service members have described incidents involving objects that defy conventional explanation, often displaying flight characteristics that surpass the limits of known human technology. These reports, once dismissed or classified, are now increasingly taken seriously, forming a cornerstone of modern UAP investigations. One of the most notable periods of documented encounters occurred in the early 2000s, when U.S. Navy pilots reported objects moving at extreme velocities, performing abrupt maneuvers, and appearing to defy inertia. The so-called tic-tac UAPs, captured on infrared video from aircraft sensors, exhibited the ability to hover, accelerate rapidly, and make instantaneous directional changes without visible propulsion systems. These incidents were corroborated by multiple sensors, including radar, suggesting that the phenomenon was not an optical illusion or a sensor artifact. Pilots emphasized the precision of these movements, noting that such objects could not be explained by conventional aerodynamics or human-engineered aircraft currently in operation. Beyond the United States, other nations have also documented UAP encounters with military personnel. In Europe, pilots and radar operators in countries such as the United Kingdom, France, and Belgium have reported similar objects exhibiting sudden acceleration, high-speed maneuvers, and the ability to appear and disappear from radar coverage. Soviet and Russian military archives further suggest that unusual aerial activity has been observed near missile silos and nuclear facilities since the Cold War era. The consistency of these reports across multiple countries and decades strengthens the argument that these phenomena represent a genuine anomaly rather than a series of isolated misinterpretations. A particularly compelling aspect of military sightings is their proximity to sensitive and strategic sites. Nuclear missile silos, weapons storage facilities, and high-security installations have all been locations of repeated UAP encounters. In some cases, objects were observed hovering near these areas for extended periods, defying conventional detection and interception protocols. While some analysts argue that increased surveillance at these sites accounts for higher reporting rates, the unusual behaviors of the objects, such as rapid acceleration, sudden disappearance, and apparent interaction with airspace restrictions, suggest a level of sophistication that warrants further investigation. These patterns imply a targeted interest in human military capabilities, raising questions about whether the phenomena are observational, experimental, or deliberate in nature. Declassified military documents and congressional hearings in recent years have brought additional credibility to these encounters. The 2020 Pentagon UAP report, for instance, confirmed the existence of 144 UAP sightings between 2004 and 2021 that could not be easily explained. The report highlighted concerns about national security and the potential for advanced technology of unknown origin operating near restricted airspace. Beyond official reports, whistleblower testimonies provide detailed descriptions of events that were often classified or suppressed. These accounts consistently emphasize the intelligence-gathering potential of UAPs, and the concern among military personnel that such objects may represent either foreign technological threats or non-human intelligence. Analyzing these military sightings requires a careful and structured approach. Investigators must consider multiple data sources, including pilot reports, radar logs, infrared imaging, and satellite observations. Cross-referencing these sources helps establish patterns and verify authenticity. Furthermore, the behavior of these objects, rapid maneuvers, sudden stops, and apparent resistance to gravitational forces, suggests advanced propulsion or control mechanisms that exceed known human capabilities. While some encounters may eventually be explained by natural atmospheric phenomena or experimental aircraft, a significant portion remains unexplained, highlighting a genuine gap in our understanding of aerial anomalies. The implications of these sightings extend beyond mere curiosity. Military encounters demonstrate that UAPs are not random or purely speculative events. They interact with environments of strategic importance, potentially impacting national security. The unexplained nature of these objects raises operational concerns as pilots and radar operators face potential hazards from objects capable of extreme speeds and unpredictable movements. Moreover, the presence of advanced aerial phenomena near restricted zones may suggest either foreign technological superiority or an entirely new category of unexplained phenomena requiring comprehensive investigation. In conclusion, military engagements and sightings provide some of the most reliable evidence of UAP phenomena. From high-speed tic-tac encounters to historical Cold War observations near nuclear facilities, these reports offer credible data for analysis, free from the distortions of popular myth or media sensationalism. By systematically documenting, verifying, and analyzing these encounters, investigators can establish a factual foundation for understanding UAPs, bridging the gap between anecdotal evidence and empirical research. This chapter lays the groundwork for the following examination of highly specific incidents, such as the jellyfish UAP observed over Iraq, where detailed imagery and direct observation converge to challenge our understanding of aerial phenomena. One of the most intriguing and visually documented UAP incidents in recent years occurred over a U.S. military base in Iraq, involving an object widely referred to as the jellyfish UAP. Captured in both photographs and video footage, this anomaly challenged conventional interpretations of aerial technology and reinforced the need for serious investigative scrutiny. Unlike many other sightings that rely solely on eyewitness accounts, this event produced imagery of an object with distinct physical characteristics, allowing for detailed analysis of shape, behavior, and potential origin. The incident was reported by multiple personnel stationed at the base, all of whom described the object as hovering silently in the sky before performing movements inconsistent with known aircraft. Witnesses consistently noted a translucent, bulbous shape with appendages that seemed to float in a manner reminiscent of a jellyfish, a description that gave the object its nickname. Unlike conventional drones or aircraft, the object demonstrated fluid motion, including slow undulations and instantaneous directional shifts. This combination of hovering capability and sudden acceleration defied explanation using current aerospace technology, compelling analysts to consider alternative hypotheses. Photographic and video evidence further complicates conventional explanations. Infrared imagery shows the object as emitting or reflecting energy in patterns not consistent with standard aircraft lighting or atmospheric phenomena. The motion captured in sequences of frames indicates controlled maneuvering rather than random drift, suggesting intelligence or advanced automation behind the movement. Analysts compared the footage with known experimental drones, including multi-rotor UAVs and stealth prototypes, but none fully accounted for the object's observed characteristics, including its hovering stability, silent operation, and rapid, precise maneuvers. The location of the sighting also warrants attention. Military bases, especially those in active conflict zones, such as Iraq, are heavily monitored environments with multiple overlapping sensor systems, including radar, motion detection, and aerial surveillance. The presence of a UAP in such a controlled environment reduces the likelihood of misidentification or natural atmospheric explanations. Witnesses were trained observers, familiar with conventional aircraft, drones, and surveillance technologies, yet their accounts consistently indicated that the jellyfish object did not conform to any known model. These factors contribute to the credibility of the incident as a genuinely anomalous event. Investigators considered a range of potential explanations. Some proposed that the object could be a foreign-developed drone, a novel military experiment, or even an optical anomaly caused by atmospheric distortion. While these hypotheses merit examination, they fail to fully account for the combination of visual characteristics, motion dynamics, and energy patterns captured in the recordings. The jellyfish UAP remains one of the few documented cases where imagery allows for technical analysis alongside first-hand testimony, making it a valuable case study for both military and civilian investigators. The Iraq incident also illustrates a broader pattern observed in UAP encounters: the proximity of anomalies to strategic military installations. As noted in previous chapters, UAPs frequently appear near sensitive sites, including nuclear facilities and weapons storage areas. The jellyfish UAP's presence over a military base aligns with this trend, raising questions about intent and purpose. Whether the object represents a form of reconnaissance, observation of human activity, or a more enigmatic phenomenon remains unresolved, but the consistency of these patterns suggests a deliberate interaction with controlled airspace. Cross-referencing this incident with other sightings adds context and potential connections. Similar fluid, hovering objects have been reported in various global locations, often displaying comparable movement dynamics and behavior. While each encounter is unique, the recurrence of these characteristics strengthens the case for a category of UAPs that operates outside conventional aerospace parameters. Analysts are increasingly recognizing that these phenomena cannot be dismissed as misperception or technological anomalies alone, prompting a reevaluation of what constitutes aerial capabilities beyond known human engineering. Finally, the jellyfish UAP over Iraq underscores the importance of evidence-based investigation. Unlike anecdotal accounts, the combination of trained observers, multiple sensory inputs, and recorded visual data allows for a methodical assessment of the phenomenon. Researchers can analyze flight patterns, energy signatures, and physical form, generating hypotheses while maintaining scientific rigor. This incident bridges the gap between eyewitness testimony and tangible, analyzable evidence, offering a compelling case study for the broader investigation into UAPs, their potential origins, and their implications for national security and aerospace understanding. In conclusion, the Iraq jellyfish incident remains a pivotal moment in UAP research. It exemplifies how direct observation, corroborated imagery, and credible testimony converge to challenge conventional assumptions about aerial technology. By documenting this event in detail, investigators gain a clearer understanding of the anomalies present in our skies, setting the stage for further examination of government disclosures, technological analysis, and the ongoing debate regarding extraterrestrial or experimental human origins of these phenomena. As this report progresses, the lessons from the jellyfish UAP will inform subsequent discussions about disclosure, military policy, and the persistent question of what is truly happening above us. While sightings and incidents like the jellyfish UAP over Iraq provide compelling evidence of unexplained aerial phenomena, official acknowledgement from government sources is equally critical in establishing credibility and guiding investigation. In recent years, congressional hearings, declassified documents, and whistleblower testimonies have brought UAPs into the public and institutional spotlight, transforming what was once a fringe subject into a legitimate national security concern. The United States government began systematically investigating UAPs during the mid-20th century, with projects such as Project Sign, Project Grudge, and Project Blue Book. These programs collected thousands of reports, ranging from anecdotal sightings to radar-tracked anomalies. While the majority of cases were dismissed as misidentifications or natural phenomena, a small percentage remained unexplained. Modern disclosures, including the 2017 release of Navy videos showing tic-tac-shaped objects and the 2020 Pentagon report, reveal that the government continues to encounter phenomena that defy current scientific and technological understanding. Congressional hearings in 2020 and 2021 marked a significant turning point. Lawmakers, military officials, and intelligence officers testified about UAP encounters, emphasizing both the credibility of the witnesses and the potential implications for national security. The hearings confirmed that UAPs are regularly observed near restricted airspace, often with flight characteristics exceeding known human capabilities. Importantly, officials acknowledge that while many sightings remain unexplained, they warrant serious study due to their potential impact on aviation safety and defense readiness. Whistleblower testimonies have further reinforced the legitimacy of UAP investigation. Individuals with direct access to classified programs have come forward describing encounters, sensor data, and internal assessments that were previously hidden from public scrutiny. For example, former Navy personnel described objects performing maneuvers impossible for conventional aircraft, corroborated by radar, infrared sensors, and eyewitness testimony. Some whistleblowers reported internal debates regarding the potential origins of these objects, including speculation about foreign advanced technology, unknown natural phenomena, or even non-human intelligence. Declassified documents also reveal the methods by which the government monitors and investigates UAPs. These records show systematic collection of sightings, cross-referencing of multiple sensor platforms, and coordination between military branches and intelligence agencies. Reports include detailed analyses of flight paths, energy signatures, and physical characteristics, demonstrating a structured and methodical approach to investigation. The existence of these records underscores the seriousness with which UAP encounters are treated at the institutional level, contrasting sharply with public perception, which often frames these phenomena as fringe or speculative. Patterns emerge when reviewing these disclosures. UAPs are disproportionately observed near military installations, nuclear facilities, and sensitive technology sites. Congressional reports emphasize that these patterns are not random and may indicate targeted observation or intelligence gathering behavior. While some analysts suggest advanced foreign aerospace technology could explain certain incidents, the rapid maneuvers, sudden stops, and apparent ability to evade detection in other cases challenge conventional explanations. This dual possibility, foreign technology versus unknown phenomena, creates a compelling investigative dilemma. The interplay between whistleblowers and formal disclosures highlights an important tension. Whistleblowers often provide raw, unfiltered observations, which can be more detailed than sanitized official reports. These first-hand accounts sometimes reveal additional layers of analysis, such as internal speculation on propulsion systems, sensor reliability, or potential threats posed by UAPs. Congressional disclosures, on the other hand, frame these events within a policy and security context, balancing transparency with operational security. Together, these sources provide a more complete picture of the phenomena than either could offer alone. Another critical aspect is the evolution of language and framing. Early government reports often used dismissive terminology, describing sightings as unknowns or attributing them to misidentified aircraft or atmospheric effects. Modern disclosures, however, explicitly recognize the unknown nature of certain phenomena and the importance of rigorous investigation. This shift indicates both institutional acceptance of the legitimacy of UAP encounters and a willingness to engage with scientific and strategic analysis in a transparent manner. In conclusion, congressional disclosures and whistleblower accounts form the backbone of credible evidence-based UAP research. They provide a framework for understanding the scope, frequency, and characteristics of encounters while offering insight into potential national security implications. By combining first-hand testimonies with formal government documentation, investigators can build a nuanced understanding of unexplained phenomena, distinguishing verifiable anomalies from speculation or misinformation. This chapter lays the groundwork for subsequent exploration of potential government deception, technological analysis, and extraterrestrial hypotheses, emphasizing that the pursuit of truth relies on both institutional acknowledgement and rigorous investigative methods. While the evidence of UAPs and unexplained aerial phenomena is compelling, a critical component of any investigative effort is the consideration of deliberate deception. Throughout history, governments, militaries, and organizations have employed disinformation campaigns, psychological operations, and controlled media narratives to influence public perception. The possibility that some UAP sightings, videos, or reports could be part of a sophisticated hoax or strategic operation cannot be dismissed and must be carefully analyzed alongside genuine phenomena. Hoaxes and misdirection have long been tools for controlling information. From staged sightings to manipulated photographs, fabricated stories, and covert testing of experimental aircraft, there are numerous historical precedents demonstrating that misinformation can be highly effective. In the realm of aerial phenomena, the boundary between genuine anomaly and orchestrated deception can be extremely subtle. Often the line is blurred by incomplete data, selective disclosure, or deliberate framing of events to emphasize certain interpretations while obscuring others. Understanding these techniques is essential to distinguishing authentic observations from intentional manipulation. One common form of deception involves the creation of technological illusions designed to simulate extraordinary flight capabilities. Advances in drone technology, holographic projection, and other electronic countermeasures have made it increasingly feasible to fabricate aerial phenomena. For example, autonomous drones capable of hovering silently, executing sudden accelerations, and following programmed flight paths could easily be misinterpreted as anomalous or extraterrestrial by observers unaware of experimental technology in use. Additionally, sophisticated visual effects or optical interference could be introduced to radar, infrared, or video systems, further complicating analysis. Misinformation campaigns may also leverage human psychology. Strategic placement of videos, selective leaks, and media amplification can generate the perception of widespread UAP activity, even when individual incidents are isolated or misinterpreted. In this context, public fascination and cognitive bias play a role. Once an observer has been primed to expect anomalous behavior, ordinary phenomena, weather balloons, birds, or atmospheric reflections can appear extraordinary. Understanding these psychological dynamics is crucial for investigators, as it highlights how perception can be influenced without necessarily fabricating events in their entirety. Historical examples reinforce the plausibility of deliberate hoaxes. During the Cold War, multiple governments engaged in experiments designed to confuse adversaries or test civilian reactions. Sightings of mysterious aerial objects were occasionally used as cover for secret aircraft development, surveillance programs, or psychological operations. In some documented cases, military exercises involved the deliberate deployment of decoys or experimental devices to observe detection capabilities and public response. These precedents illustrate that intentional misdirection is a well-established tactic, and any comprehensive investigation must account for its potential role in shaping the UAP narrative. The anatomy of a hoax also involves selective disclosure. Information may be released in stages, with some incidents highly publicized while others remain classified, creating an incomplete and sometimes misleading picture. Whistleblowers and insiders occasionally expose discrepancies between what is observed and what is officially acknowledged, revealing how controlled information can manipulate perception. Analysts must therefore consider not only the physical characteristics of a UAP, but also the context in which reports are generated, disseminated, and interpreted. The interaction between incomplete data, media framing, and audience expectation forms the backbone of potential deception strategies. Despite the plausibility of hoaxes, it is important to recognize that not all unexplained phenomena can be attributed to deliberate manipulation. Genuine anomalies continue to be reported by trained military personnel, corroborated by multiple sensors, and documented in declassified government files. The goal of analyzing potential deception is not to dismiss these encounters, but to provide a balanced investigative framework that accounts for both natural or technological anomalies and the possibility of intentional obfuscation. By applying rigorous critical analysis, investigators can separate evidence-based phenomena from strategically manipulated events. In conclusion, the anatomy of a hoax illustrates the necessity of skepticism, methodological rigor, and cross-disciplinary analysis in UAP investigation. Considering deliberate deception alongside documented sightings, military encounters, and scientific anomalies ensures a comprehensive understanding of the phenomenon. While some incidents may indeed be fabricated or manipulated, many remain unexplained, challenging investigators to discern truth from illusion. This chapter sets the stage for subsequent exploration of extraterrestrial hypotheses, technological analysis, and the broader implications of UAP phenomena, emphasizing that careful, evidence-driven inquiry is essential to separating reality from orchestrated misdirection. While military sightings, satellite anomalies, and potential hoaxes provide a complex landscape of UAP investigation, one of the most compelling questions remains: could some of these phenomena be of extraterrestrial origin? The extraterrestrial hypothesis, ETH, posits that certain UAPs represent technology and intelligence beyond human development, potentially originating from civilizations outside Earth. While controversial, the ETH provides a framework for examining behaviors, patterns, and physical characteristics that cannot be readily explained by conventional science or experimental technology. A foundational element of the ETH is the observation of flight characteristics that defy human engineering. Objects observed by military pilots, such as the Tic-Tac UAPs, exhibit rapid acceleration, abrupt directional changes, and near-instantaneous stops, maneuvers that would subject a human pilot to fatal levels of G-force. These flight dynamics suggest propulsion methods unknown to contemporary aerospace science. While some skeptics argue for foreign experimental aircraft or advanced drones, the consistency, sophistication, and frequency of these behaviors across multiple incidents and geographic locations make purely terrestrial explanations increasingly tenuous. Physical evidence also supports consideration of the ETH. In addition to visual and infrared documentation, some UAP encounters have produced radar signatures, electromagnetic interference, and unusual energy readings that suggest advanced propulsion or power systems. Reports of metallic or translucent objects with non-standard geometries further differentiate these phenomena from conventional aircraft. The combination of observed motion, sensor data, and physical characteristics presents a profile that aligns with the concept of highly advanced non-human technology. Historical context strengthens the argument for the ETH. Unexplained aerial phenomena have been documented for centuries, often in proximity to strategic or populated locations. Modern observations continue this pattern, but with enhanced documentation and corroboration from multiple sources. The recurrence of these patterns, including near-nuclear facilities, military installations, and high-security zones, suggests intentional observation or interaction rather than random appearances. From an extraterrestrial perspective, these behaviors could indicate reconnaissance or intelligence-gathering objectives by a civilization capable of interstellar travel. Scientific discourse surrounding the ETH has evolved in recent years. Mainstream astrophysicists, such as Avi Loeb, have advocated for the serious consideration of interstellar probes or alien technology as potential explanations for anomalous objects like Oumuamua. Loeb's analysis highlights characteristics such as unusual trajectories, reflective surfaces, and non-gravitational acceleration, which cannot be fully explained by conventional astrophysics. While such propositions remain speculative, they underscore the importance of approaching UAP phenomena without bias, evaluating evidence based on observed behavior rather than preconceived limitations on possibility. Psychological and socio-political factors also influence the ETH discussion. Public fascination with extraterrestrial life can amplify attention to anomalous sightings, sometimes blurring the line between observation and interpretation. Government secrecy, selective disclosure, and historical cover-ups contribute to a perception of hidden knowledge, which may reinforce belief in extraterrestrial visitation. While these factors complicate analysis, they also highlight the importance of separating sociocultural influence from empirical evidence. A rigorous investigation focuses on measurable characteristics, corroborated reports, and scientifically verifiable patterns. The ETH is not without skeptics, and legitimate caution is warranted. Many UAP encounters may be explained by experimental human technology, atmospheric phenomena, or sensor errors. Distinguishing between terrestrial and extraterrestrial explanations requires meticulous investigation, cross-disciplinary expertise, and careful consideration of alternative hypotheses. The value of the ETH lies not in immediate acceptance, but in its capacity to guide inquiry when conventional explanations fail, prompting deeper examination of evidence that might otherwise be dismissed. In conclusion, the extraterrestrial hypothesis provides a crucial lens for understanding the most perplexing aspects of UAP phenomena. By focusing on behaviors and characteristics that defy human capabilities, considering interstellar contexts, and evaluating patterns across time and space, the ETH allows investigators to explore a spectrum of possibilities grounded in empirical observation. While the question of non-human intelligence remains unresolved, the careful consideration of extraterrestrial hypotheses enriches the investigative framework, offering insight into phenomena that challenge conventional scientific, technological, and strategic paradigms. As subsequent chapters will explore, these hypotheses intersect with government policy, disclosure initiatives, and the ongoing debate over the true nature of aerial anomalies. The presence of unexplained aerial phenomena, whether they are extraterrestrial, advanced human technology, or government fabrications, carries consequences that extend far beyond curiosity or speculation. These implications strike at the core of our society, our worldview, and our very understanding of humanity's place in the universe. To confront these possibilities, we must examine the stakes in multiple dimensions: existential, technological, social, geopolitical, psychological, and ethical. First, the existential implications. Humanity has long considered itself the dominant intelligence on Earth, perhaps even in the universe. The arrival or acknowledgement of a non-human intelligence disrupts this narrative. It forces a confrontation with a truth that challenges religion, philosophy, and the stories we tell ourselves about our uniqueness. Such a revelation could unite us under a shared cosmic perspective, or it could deepen divisions. The human reaction may range from awe and fascination to fear and denial. The shock of realizing we are not alone is not theoretical. It will ripple across generations and reshape cultural identity in ways we cannot yet predict. Technologically, the stakes are just as high. If these phenomena are evidence of advanced intelligence, the capabilities on display, propulsion systems, energy sources, materials, are likely far beyond our current understanding. Exposure to such technology could revolutionize human life, from energy production to transportation to medical advancements. Conversely, if the knowledge is controlled or weaponized by governments or select groups, it becomes a lever of inequality and power. The same technology that could elevate humanity could also create catastrophic divides. Wars may not be fought with conventional weapons, but with tools that manipulate physics and matter in ways previously reserved for science fiction. Geopolitically, the presence of such intelligence, or even the perception of it, creates enormous challenges. Governments are accustomed to competing for dominance through military, economic, and technological means. Whoever controls the narrative of extraterrestrial phenomena or has access to the technology behind it gains an unparalleled advantage over global rivals. Historically, nations have exploited fear, misinformation, and secrecy to consolidate power. A single revelation, mishandled or manipulated, could destabilize alliances, prompt clandestine conflicts, and force unprecedented strategic recalculations. Humanity could find itself paralyzed between collaboration and conflict, unable to respond effectively to a presence it does not fully understand. Psychologically, the effects on individuals and communities could be profound. Fear, awe, and fascination will intermingle. Mass anxiety could emerge as people struggle to reconcile daily life with the knowledge that humans are not alone in the universe. Some will embrace hope and curiosity, while others will retreat into denial or conspiracy thinking. Cultural narratives, movies, literature, religious teachings may be rewritten in real time, shaping public perception and collective behavior. These mental and emotional effects are not minor. They can influence politics, education, and social cohesion on a global scale. Ethically, the implications are just as weighty. Humanity must consider not only how we respond to these phenomena, but also how we treat one another in the process. Do we prioritize transparency or secrecy, collaboration or competition? Are we prepared to share technology equitably, or will fear and greed dominate? If these beings exist and communicate, the moral framework governing our decisions becomes critical. Missteps could result in irreversible harm, not just to individuals or nations, but to civilization itself. Finally, there is the matter of resilience. The human race's ability to adapt to existential shocks depends on social structures, education, and critical thinking. Societies with robust institutions, a free press, and scientifically literate populations are better equipped to respond constructively. Societies fractured by misinformation, inequality, or authoritarian control will struggle, potentially amplifying panic and chaos. Preparing for the unknown requires more than imagination. It requires deliberate effort, planning, and ethical consideration. In sum, the implications for humanity are vast and unavoidable. Whether these phenomena are evidence of extraterrestrial life, secret human technology, or government deception, their impact will reverberate across every aspect of civilization. The stakes demand vigilance, skepticism, and open discourse. Humanity's response will define not only our survival, but our identity, our ethics, and the path of our collective evolution. In facing the unknown, the choice is not whether to act, it is how, and with what awareness of what's truly at risk. If humanity is to respond responsibly to the presence of unexplained aerial phenomena, the pursuit of truth must be deliberate, structured, and unrelenting. The search for answers requires more than curiosity. It demands rigorous methodology, skepticism, and coordination across scientific, governmental, and civilian spheres. The very act of searching for the truth shapes our understanding of reality, authority, and our place in the cosmos. The foundation of truth-seeking begins with evidence. Thousands of credible reports have emerged from pilots, radar operators, civilians, and declassified government documents. Each data point, a radar blip, a pilot's testimony, a photo or video, represents a piece of a puzzle. However, no single report is definitive. Verification requires cross-referencing multiple independent sources, confirming consistency, and subjecting data to rigorous analysis. Without these steps, anomalies are easily dismissed or misinterpreted. Redundancy is critical. Radar, infrared, optical, and satellite data must all be considered, alongside physical evidence where available. Independent laboratories and third-party scientists are essential to validate findings and prevent manipulation. Transparency in methodology ensures that results are credible and reproducible, allowing both governments and civilians to reach conclusions based on verifiable data rather than rumor or speculation. Equally important is peer review and multidisciplinary collaboration. UAP phenomena cannot be understood through a single lens. Aerospace engineering, astrophysics, materials science, cognitive psychology, and even political analysis all play roles. Interdisciplinary teams prevent blind spots and ensure that interpretations are grounded in reality rather than bias. Collaboration across nations and institutions strengthens credibility and reduces the likelihood of misinformation being treated as fact. Public involvement is another essential aspect. Citizen scientists, hobbyists, and amateur astronomers have contributed meaningful observations over the decades. Structured reporting channels, apps or portals that capture exact coordinates, timestamps, camera specifications, and witness details allow independent verification while reducing noise. Training programs for pilots, first responders, and journalists in documenting anomalies can raise the quality and reliability of evidence. A crowdsourced approach complements official investigations, creating a broader, more robust database of phenomena. Yet, truth-seeking must also navigate disinformation and deception. Governments and organizations may conceal or manipulate data for strategic purposes. Project Bluebeam, among other historical programs, exemplifies how manipulation can distort public perception. Awareness of these possibilities is essential. Investigators must differentiate between genuine anomalies and manufactured narratives. This requires critical thinking, cross-validation, and a healthy skepticism toward sensationalized reports. Ethical and legal considerations are central. Whistleblowers revealing credible evidence should be protected under international standards. At the same time, sensitive information must be managed to prevent mass panic or exploitation. The balance between transparency and security is delicate but necessary. It ensures that truth-seeking does not inadvertently cause harm while maintaining accountability. Media literacy plays a key role. The public must be equipped to interpret data responsibly. Clear explanations of observational limits, evidence standards, and the difference between correlation and causation are vital. Without this, even rigorous investigations risk being drowned in speculation, fear, or misinformation. Education ensures that society can distinguish between genuine phenomena and narrative manipulation. Finally, international cooperation is non-negotiable. No single nation has the right to control knowledge that affects all humanity. A coordinated global framework, potentially under the auspices of the United Nations or a scientific consortium, can standardize research protocols, manage sensitive findings, and prevent unilateral exploitation of discoveries. Only through collective scrutiny can the truth emerge with integrity. In conclusion, the search for truth is neither passive nor easy. It requires diligence, humility, and the understanding that findings may challenge deeply held beliefs. The consequences of failure, accepting false narratives or ignoring genuine phenomena, are enormous. By establishing robust investigative structures, empowering credible scientific inquiry, and maintaining vigilance against deception, humanity preserves its agency and prepares for whatever the skies may reveal. Truth is not just about what is out there, it is also about how we approach it. The search defines us, tests us, and ultimately prepares us to face realities far greater than we have ever known. Are aliens really coming, or are we being tricked? After decades of documented UFO sightings, military encounters, whistleblower testimonies, and government disclosures, the ultimate question looms larger than ever. Are extraterrestrial beings genuinely on their way, or is humanity being manipulated into believing they are? The truth is stark and uncompromising. There is no safe middle ground. Either aliens are truly coming, or the government is orchestrating a deception. And both scenarios carry massive implications. Few people fully understand this, but it is a reality we cannot ignore. Before delving deeper, credit must be given where it is due. The concept of Project Bluebeam, a rumored secret program designed to simulate alien contact or divine events to manipulate global perception, has been instrumental in shaping critical thinking about UAPs and potential government manipulation. Without awareness of Project Bluebeam, many could be easily convinced that extraterrestrials are imminent. In my own investigation, Project Bluebeam is the reason I developed a principle that guides how I assess extraordinary claims. If you haven't verified something through your five senses, sight, sound, touch, taste, or smell, you should approach it cautiously and critically. This approach is essential when confronting phenomena that are deliberately sensationalized or potentially fabricated. If extraterrestrial intelligence is truly visiting, the consequences are staggering. Advanced beings capable of interstellar travel represent a technological and cognitive superiority far beyond humanity. If they come in peace, the potential benefits are monumental. New knowledge, scientific breakthroughs, and the possibility of interstellar diplomacy. This is the only outcome that could be considered unequivocally positive. But we must remain cautious. If they are hostile, indifferent, or operate on motives we cannot comprehend, humanity could face existential consequences. The presence of such intelligence, whether benevolent or malevolent, shifts the balance of global power instantly and irrevocably. Conversely, if the government is orchestrating a deception, whether through staged sightings, media manipulation, or technological illusions, the danger is no less real. Project Bluebeam highlights the plausibility of such strategies, showing that powerful entities could fabricate evidence of alien visitation to influence perception, behavior, or policy on a global scale. In this scenario, humanity is being manipulated in ways most cannot perceive, with profound implications for social, political, and psychological stability. The consequences of falling for such a ruse could be catastrophic, whether it is intended as population control, distraction, or test of compliance. The reality is unavoidable. Either extraterrestrial visitation is happening or deception is happening. There is no neutral middle ground. Unlike minor anomalies or misidentifications, the phenomena we are investigating challenge physics, technology, and collective human understanding. They are observed consistently, documented across multiple sensor platforms, and verified by trained personnel. Ignoring this reality or hoping for a safe middle ground is not an option. Patterns reinforce this dichotomy. UAPs frequently appear near sensitive military installations, nuclear sites, and other restricted areas. From an extraterrestrial perspective, this could indicate deliberate observation of humanity's most critical activities. From a human deception perspective, it represents a logical location for staged events, experimental technology tests, or controlled narrative exercises. The overlap creates uncertainty, but one thing is clear: the stakes are high, and only rigorous investigation can parse the truth. Most of the public does not realize the absence of a middle ground. Many assume that if definitive proof does not exist, nothing is happening. This is a dangerous misconception. The world is being confronted with phenomena that are either evidence of highly advanced intelligence or evidence of sophisticated manipulation, and either scenario has potentially monumental consequences. Understanding this distinction and recognizing the role of programs like Project Bluebeam in shaping perception is crucial for anyone attempting to discern truth from illusion. In conclusion, humanity faces a binary reality. Aliens are coming, or we are being tricked. The only potentially positive outcome is peaceful extraterrestrial contact. Everything else, hostile aliens or calculated government deception, is deeply consequential, even dangerous. Project Bluebeam deserves recognition as the framework that helped us question appearances, remain skeptical, and rely on sensory verification as a guide to reality. The skies above are not neutral, and neither is the information we receive about them. The time to understand the stakes, discern the signals, and recognize the absence of a safe middle ground is now.